Hello everyone, how are you folks doing? I decided to make this video due to a very bad experience, a recent experience regarding water leaks. Um, I received last month. I received a water bill. It just it skyrocketed. It went from I think in August we were using 7,000 gallons to last month 15,000. So it's 8,000 gallon increase. So it went from 166.71 to 259.69. So wow, it was just huge jump. And I'm showing the water bill, the picture of the water bill. So that was kind of like a lot of red flags going on. And I didn't know what to do. And I tried to check videos on YouTube and to see, um, you know, what could be causing the problem. I even called Board of Water Supply and the guy came out, but I come to find out I found the problem before the guy came out, so I was lucky. But there's a step-by-step approach that I think everyone should take when you do suspect a water leak in your house, um, and and you can narrow down the cause of which, where the problem could be, and then you take appropriate action from there. And I did take the right action. My bill came back down to normal, and it came down to 7,000, back to 8,000 gallons, and I think it'll even go further down next month. But anyway, the first place you should go and check is your water meter. And your water meter is located outside in the front of your house. Now, the Board of Water Supply, their water meters are light activated. You need a flashlight, so you can take off the cover, look inside, flip the cover, and look with the flashlight. You can see, um, um, what kind of reading you're getting. And before you do this, make sure nobody's taking a shower, nobody's using any of the water in the house, because you want to narrow the problem down. So you just want to make sure that you want to check and see if you've got a water leak. So tell everybody in your household, don't take a shower for the next 5 minutes or 10 minutes, that you're going to be checking this. And then so you go outside and you check, and no water, the numbers should not be changing, it should be constant. And I'm going to show you this in the next step. So step one, check your water meter. Okay. So this is the water main outside of our home. As you can see, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check and see what's going on with the water main, and see if there are any water leaks. So what you have to do is you have to access it, and the way that I do it, I just take this off here. You can just turn it. Now once I have the cover off, this is what it looks like on the inside. So the next thing you have to do is you have to flip the cover of the water meter, and this is what it looks like inside. Now this meter is light activated, so you're going to need a flashlight. So I'm going to turn on this flashlight, because it's light activated with a flashlight. And now you can see some numbers there. I don't know if you can see that. . look on the right side, you can see the number 52. And that number doesn't change. Okay, it stays the same. 211,000 and then 52 on the right side. If that number on the right side, 52, changes, you know, increases 53, 4, 5, whatever, that means you got a leak in your house. Okay, now let's say that in step one, when you checked your meter, the last two numbers were changing. Everything, nobody was using the water, nobody was flushing the toilet, nobody was taking a shower, and the numbers kept increasing. 52, like in my case was 52, it go 53, 54, and you saw it gradually increase. So the next step, step two, would be to check your toilets. Now I have two toilets in my house. I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, so you got to do one each, one at a time. And so that's the next step. Now the reason I say that is because most common leaks that occur, water leaks, are usually the valves in the toilets. That's the most common area. Okay, so that's the next place, and I found that out through watching all these YouTube videos. So that's the next area, first area I'm gonna check for water leaks. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, this is the toilet, the first toilet that I'm going to check in the guest room, and as you can see, it has a bidet attached to it. So I'm going to take off the cover and look inside. Okay. Okay, now looking inside the toilet, you can see here is the fill valve, and this is the overflow tube and the flapper on the bottom. Okay, so when you flush the handle, the flapper lifts up and the water goes inside the toilet, and the fill valve supplies the water. Now, important thing to note is here, the problem is this water level is very important. It should not go up here into this is called the overflow tube. Now it just so happened, and I was watching as I flushed the toilet, and I'm going to do that right now. As you can see, the flapper lifts up here, and then it drops, and then the water is supplied by the fill valve. Now that water should not go into this, what's called the overflow tube. It should not go as high as this. It should go below, maybe about an inch or two. So you're going to see right now it's filling the water in the tank. Okay, so and then at some point, you know, this thing is going to go up and it's going to shut off. There's a valve that will shut the water from going into the tank here. But what's important is that that water doesn't keep rising above into the, right here, into what's called the overflow valve. Now, that's where my problem was. I was lucky I found it. Okay, so it's still filling, it's almost there. Now this fill valve, you can repurchase this at the hardware store. I bought it at a local hardware store in Hawaii. It's called City Mill. And then installed it, and you can see it just shut off And you can see the level right now is right here. Okay, it's not going higher. Now, the problem I had was this wasn't shutting off up here. And there's a valve. So I've seen some videos where you can replace the valve inside. I tried that. It's only, I think the valve cost, I'll show that to you. It only costs like $4 or $5. And then it might work for some people, but for me it didn't work. So I had to replace the whole mechanism. But anyway, you can see you can monitor this and make sure that that water level doesn't go up to here into the overflow valve. That was the problem. Now, if you suspect that was happening to your toilet, you can shut off the water on the bottom. In the bottom, there's a shut-off valve. Yeah, you can see that here. There's a shut-off valve right here. You can turn it off. You can turn off the water and then go outside and check your meter again and see if your meter, the numbers don't change when you shut it off. If they don't change and it's stable at, like in my case it was 52, if it stayed at 52 and when I shut it off, then I know that this toilet was the problem. Okay, now you got to do this for each toilet. So you can check it on both toilets. You can either shut this off and then check the meter outside, see if it's changing, or you can go and look inside, visually check and see that the water doesn't go up into the overflow valve, or overflow tube, I should say. And another cause too is a flapper. You know, the flapper. These flappers are a problem too. You can actually install these. I purchased them many times, put them in myself. You can try, and again, at the hardware store, you can purchase that. Okay? Okay, I mentioned the toilet fill valve. This is what I was talking about. This is where you can order this on eBay. You can go to the hardware store. It's probably better just to go to the hardware store and change this valve right here. Like I said on the YouTube, I checked this on the YouTube video, and you know, it's worked for other people, but for me, in my case, it didn't work. So I had to change the whole mechanism. Okay. Okay, I replaced the fill mechanism and everything was fine. But I gotta mention something. 3 months earlier, I had a problem with the other toilet. Exact same thing. The fill mechanism, and it was the older type with the float, the ball, and that kept making noise. So I eventually replaced it with the same type fill mechanism like I recently replaced. But I wondered, wow, what the heck's going on? Why are all these things failing? Why am I getting failures with the toilet valves? Well, the third step, so you're not done yet. Even if you replace the fill valve and fill mechanism and all that, what you should do as a step 3, and it's very important, is to check you check the water pressure, PSI, and that should be between 40, I think 40 and 80 or something like that. And I'm going to show that in the next step, or step 3, because if your water pressure is too high, it can cause these problems to occur. All of these leaks in the toilet, etc., because your water pressure is too high. So that's the next step, and we'll explore that next, and I'll show that to you now. To do that, to I'm going to show you the what I used. It's called the this water gauge, and this is what it looks like. Okay, this water gauge, and it's about, I think it's about $15 or something like that. And again, I purchased it at the hardware store. It's the same place, City Mill. You can purchase it anywhere. So that's what I'm gonna use to check my water pressure next. Okay. Okay, I'm outside in the front of the house, and right now, what I'm gonna do is attach the meter, this meter, water meter, to check the water pressure. So watch and see. Okay, as you can see, I've got the water meter attached. Make sure it's nice and tight. You want to get a good reading, so tighten that. If so, you got to use this plumber's wrench. You want to make sure that your reading is accurate. Just give it a little tighten that. Make sure it's snug. Okay, now we're gonna turn the water on, and we're gonna check the pressure. And you can see that right now, it's about, I think, around 50. It's reading around 50. Okay. Previously, so that's the reading it has right now. Previously, when I had the problem with the leaks and all that, there you can see a better picture of it now. Previously, it was up to 90 and between 90 and 100. So I had it adjusted by a plumber to 65, but right now it's showing 50, which is okay. It's got to be between 40 and 80. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to show you is what can cause your water pressure to be erratic or go too high is what's called a PRV, or pressure regulator valve. That's what plumbers call it, PRV, pressure regulator valve. That's the next thing I'm going to show you. Okay, this is the pressure regulator valve. This is a brand new one. I had the plumber replace this last month. And to adjust the pressure down, I wanted 65. As you can see, when I checked the reading, it was about 50 actually, which is okay. It's got to be between 40 and 80. So anyway, that's the problem right there. So pressure regulator valve, PRV. Now the thing about these things, it varies in price. Normally it's between $200 $300. I had one plumber quote me almost $2,000 to do the job. It's ridiculous. So, but I had another plumber, quoted around $300 to $400. So I had him do it. Anyway, this is it. Okay, so luckily everything is okay now. As far as the pressure, water pressure, and the toilets. Now, I've seen some videos on YouTube where people try to, instead of buying a new PRV, they try to adjust the water pressure themselves. And you can do that. There's a screw on the PRV, and some people turn it counterclockwise to reduce the pressure, clockwise to increase it, but I didn't do that. I decided, I leave it up to the pros. And usually, if it's too high like that, um, over time it changed and it got too high. I think it's just time to replace it. Now, like I said, I got different quotes. One was a plumber quoted $2,000 to do the job, and the other one that I hired was between $300 and $400. So now I got a new pressure PRV, pressure release valve. So these are the checks that you can make if you have leaks, water leaks in your home. Of course, the other things, visual leaks you can see under the sink. If the water, everything is. I've had those happen too in the past, where say a nut wasn't tight enough or something, and just had to be tightened or packed or whatever, and everything got wet under the sink. I've had those situations occur, but nothing would. I mean, it wouldn't be like a difference of 8,000 gallons on the water bill. That's something more serious. So anyway, I just hope that you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below, or recommendations too. I'm always open for recommendations. Hope to make more. If you like the video, please tell me so. I'd like to make more of these types of videos. I've done a lot of home improvements in my house, my own home, and I've learned a lot over the years. I've replaced screen doors, sliding screen doors, the front door, the screen door, the door and the handle mechanism, all kinds of stuff I've done. But because I was a technician, a copier technician and I'm very mechanically inclined. I was a service manager, and I'm very mechanically inclined. But if you don't feel comfortable doing some repairs yourself, you can always, just hire a plumber or whoever to do or a handyman, I should say. I consider myself my wife is lucky. I'm the handyman around here, so I do all these repairs myself. I like to I like to learn new things all the time. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again.